Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To the honorable educators, timekeeper, and my fellow competitors, my name is Haliza Nurzizah, and I am the representative of BAYAN boarding school. And today I will be presenting my motion. This house would arrange students in classroom based on their intelligence and academic performance rather on their age. First of all, I like to define the boundaries of this debate. It will be students ranging from primary school through high school. And then I would like to define the definition of intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. And then academic performance or academic achievement is the extent to which a student, teacher, or an institution has attained their short or long-term educational goal. Academic achievement is commonly measured through examination or continuous assessment, but there is no general agreement on how it is best evaluated or which aspects are most important: procedural knowledge such as skill or declarative knowledge such as facts. So by this motion, we are implying this condition. We would make a class or imply this to the state of academic world, arranging school class by their academic performance and not by their age. I would like to start by a child's ability is different even with one another with the same age, 10 years old with 10 years old, 12 years old with 12 years old. They could be a fast learner, a slow learner, or just a basic pace of moderate learner. They need their own learning pace to be able to understand all the knowledge that they are receiving. And that is why grouping them by academic performance could enhance their ability and help children, not just smart students, to be able to grow more, but help those who got left out to be able to understand their knowledge thoroughly. Nowadays, ability grouping has reemerged in classrooms all over the country, especially in America and in Europe, a trend that has surprised education experts who believe that outcry had all but ended its use. A new analysis of data collected by the government National Assessment of Educational Progress shows that of the fourth grade teachers surveyed, 71% said that had grouped students by reading ability in 2009, up from 28% in 1998. The analysis by Tom Lovelace, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institute, said that in math, 61% of fourth grade teachers reported ability grouping in 2011, up from 40% in 1996. And why do we still need to do that? Like I said before, a child's ability, every child has different ability. Even teachers and principals said that by reusing grouping, say that practice has become indispensable, helping them cope with widely varying levels of ability and achievement. With grouping, students could ensure that more advanced students do not make their less advanced peers feel inadequate. So if we mix the varies of students like smart student and moderate student and a bit lower ability students, those smart students can make the lower one feel insecure about their smartness. What if I'm not smart enough? What if I'm the only one who is not smart enough in this class? And by those grouping, we can make those insecurities go away, and then we can make even all the smartest students smarter, and all the low level of intelligent students could compete with those smart students' ability. Proponents of grouping argue that without it, teachers are forced to teach to the middle, leaving out both struggling students and gifted. They also say there is a pair of facts in which high achieving children do better if paired with other high achieving students. So in a classroom, we don't want to have the student that is left behind, the student that have a low grade or a low scores in a classroom. We want every student succeed and have high score. That's why by grouping them, we can ensure that all those students, that will receive the same and even more attention from their teachers, so that they will understand better and surely get their knowledge to their head and brains. From National Education Association, supporters of ability grouping cite the ability of teachers to adjust the pace of instruction for students' need as a strength of ability grouping. Like I said before, this ability grouping have a strength that all the students have the pace that they needed. This fast learner will have a fast pace from the teacher so that they can keep continuing their ability and advance them, and the moderate students will receive what they need, and all the low scores or the low ability students will be able to follow up with the knowledge they are receiving. Nelson's reports found that students who were grouped developed skills in critical thinking, competency, positive social interaction, collaboration, ability, and the ability to understand other perspectives. Not just to be able to follow the pace, they can develop more social experience and social abilities with the student within their own range of abilities. So they will not be a bully by a fast learner who think they are very smart to the slow learner who think that they are not as smart as the fast learner. That is why I stand with this motion. This house would arrange students in classroom based on their intelligence and academic performance rather on their age, because it will advantage all the student, all the teacher, so they as a student can learn much better and have knowledge as maximized. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.